Hey guys, Doubt here. I've been playing ranked in Marvel Rivals for almost a week now, and I've been trying to pay close attentions to the games to see what I could do to get better. As of now, I'm Silver 1, so climbing slowly but surely, and I just wanted to pass on what I think are some of the ways to get out of this rank. Intro done, now on to the first game where I can get 3 tips done from just this one interaction. Tip 1, and I'm saying this for literally everyone here, including myself, it's not always your team's fault. So just focus on yourself. I need to heal up here. Bucky's behind. And I just want to start off by saying that I am not calling this guy out. He went and he tried to take a 1v1 and he lost, and that's completely fine. I wasn't going to be super worried about it, and then he started talking. So my plan was just to wait for Bucky to try to jump on me or someone else, and we could take him out as a team, because I had to get up here and I had to heal our tanks because they were under half health. But instead he just went and he tried to fight him on his own, which again is completely fine. But if you lose that, that's kind of just on you. Here I was walking back from getting dove and getting killed, and he's saying, no, I don't want heals, bro. And the only healer that we have up there is a Mantis, who doesn't really do a lot of healing. It's all healing over time. So just wait a second and I'll be right there and I can start healing you. That's fine. Just play slow until I'm back. And again, the whole point of this is to just focus on yourself, and like if you're in this situation and you're dying and you feel like you're not getting any heals, take a second, look around, try to see what's going on in the game, because maybe your healer's dead, maybe your healer keeps getting duped by magic, maybe you just need to focus on trying to peel for them and the game will be a whole lot easier, or maybe your healer just actually sucks. I don't think that's the case in this specific situation, and I'll show why later on, but in general, just try to focus on yourself, because you're the only person that you can change, and just complaining is only going to make everyone else play worse. So magic does end up killing me here. I was very slightly out of position. I was trying to like push up and then pull back, and I just did it a little bit too slow, and it's fine. I was able to keep everyone else topped up, and we got to the point. Sadly, we didn't make it too much further after that, but at least we got 1 point. All right, and I'm just throwing this part in here real quick. If you are not playing as a healer, don't line of sight your healers. I was walking up to heal Dr. Strange here, and he flies up into the air, and he's able to get out, and it's completely fine. But it kind of just like puts the healer out of position as they're trying to push up and actually heal you, and sometimes it just ends up being worse. It worked out completely fine here, but just try to make sure that you're paying attention to where your healers are so then they can actually heal you. This play in general is, again, pretty bad. Like, people are just dying. I can't keep everyone up with the amount of damage that they're taking. And Dr. Strange ends up actually line of sighting me again. This forces Mantis to use her ultimate, which means we can't actually use it to get on the cart. We're just using it to stay alive in a 4v6. We're going to swap it up. I'm completely fine with it. I enjoy playing Venom, and this is a really good map for him. So I just decided to do that, and hopefully I was the problem. You know, like maybe I was. I really hoped that I was in some ways, but so let's take a quick pause. One of your tanks is at 200 health. What are the healers supposed to be doing right now? Probably healing the frontline tank who is missing 3/4 of his health, right? Look at where they are. If I was full health, sure, walk up, do some damage. Your tank is at 1/4 health. Heal your tank. And again, I'm sure there are ways that I could have played better. Line of sighting my healers when I dove that very last time probably wasn't the best, but I was able to get out. I shouldn't have been able to get out, but I was. Focus on yourself. Find what you did wrong. Don't blame your teammates. All right, so my Venom ultimate just got a Captain America ult and a support ult. Really good value from a Venom ult right there. So now we just pull back, we wait a second, we heal on up, and then we go in again when those ultimates are over and they no longer have them. Here, Mantis is doing the right thing and she's healing me. Where is Invisible Woman? I had to walk back to the front line before I got to full health, and then I finally got heals. All right, this is the last time I'm pausing. Where is Invisible Woman right now? Why is she here in front of her tank? The enemy team has magic. They've been diving the entire time. What do you think's gonna happen now that she's here and she has to back up and she can't pay attention to her flanks because she has to back up? All right, and I know I've said this a million times at this point. Focus on yourself. Don't blame your teammates. You're the only person that you can control in your own games. You are the only person that is the same in all of your games. Just focus on yourself. Don't do this. And in one round, I did double that person's healing when they were saying that they were carrying as a frontline support. So yeah, just focus on yourself. And now we're gonna move on to the third point. Group up, don't stack. Sure, if your supports, just use the support ult, or if your tank, just use like an Eye of Agamotto or something. You can stack up just to deal damage. You want to be close enough to get heals. You want to be close enough to be able to help your teammates out. But you don't want to stack and just take all of the AoE damage that you can at all times. Do you know who really loves when you stack up? Moon Knight. Because me and the 2 DPS were all in the same place instead of being at different doors. We're just fully cut off at like 1 health now, and yeah, that's just bad. Look for different flanks, look for different angles, try to find ways that you can get the enemy team to look at just you while you're still safe and while your healer can still heal you, while your tank can still support you. Like, there's multiple doors. We don't have to be all in this one big hallway. They could be like at a door to the right, they could be a door to the left. If they need healing, they can walk back to me. But like, we don't all need to be right here. Also, this counts for flanking and trying to kill your healers too. For example, look at this Venom. He dives in right here and immediately dies. A little bit later, he does the same thing, and if we were all able to react to him, he would have died again. But not everyone reacted to him. We're still relatively grouped up, but he's only on me. This means that by not stacking, you're constantly applying pressure. What this Venom is doing is he's keeping me from looking at my tanks. Sure, I don't die, but that's less healing that they're getting. And if they're getting less healing, that means that I can do less damage, because when they don't need healing, I can just start to apply damage. But instead, I'm just like stuck in this 1v1. Not really doing anything for my team as a support, which just generally isn't good. I was also basically forced to pop my ultimate or I just died. And in this situation, I didn't want to die because our team was still going in. And that just would have been completely awful because they wouldn't have probably realized that I died because nobody was paying attention to the fact that Venom was behind anyway. Also, as a side note, you don't need to be Venom. Look, Bucky's doing it. And I know that might seem like a DPS only idea, but what I've started to realize is I should be doing that on support as well, and you probably should too. That's because, and tip number 4 is, damage is important for everyone all the time. Sure, there's times when you're a tank, you should be having your shield up, and there's times when you should be a healer and you should be healing. but if you don't need to be doing that, just do damage. And I think something that the top level players do really well is just constantly apply pressure. If they don't need to heal, they're dealing damage. If they don't need to have their shield up on Strange or Magneto, then they're dealing damage. And they're dealing damage to the right targets. If you just keep hitting a tank over and over and over again, you're effectively doing nothing because a healer is just going to heal through it. If you're hitting the healer, or if you're hitting the 200 health damage, who's trying to dive your backline, or who is just trying to sit in the back and hit a bunch of headshots with Hawkeye or Hela, then that's going to be a whole lot more effective than hitting the Groot who's constantly getting heals, who's constantly getting shields, who is effectively never going to die because he has two healers just pocketing him the whole game. And this was just me screwing around on a quick match, but it really shows the whole idea that even as Jeff the Land Shark, dealing damage from the opposite side of the team is gonna make them look at you. It's gonna make them try to kill you. And if you're playing Jeff the Land Shark, you kind of just don't die. And the more that the enemy team is looking at you, the less you have to heal the rest of your teammates because they're focusing their damage at you now. And again, use your flanks with caution. Make sure that you know where your healers are and that you can get back to them in case you need healing if you are not playing a support. But make sure that you are trying to get your flanks, you are trying to damage from different positions, you are grouping, but you are not stacking. And just to show this in a rank match with Sue, I think a lot of people tend to think that she doesn't have a lot of damage or she doesn't have a lot of healing, but she really does. Her healing pierces through targets and deals damage at the same time, and then your shift and your E together just deals a ton of damage if you combo them well. And just to explain this a tiny bit more, I harassed the enemies and now I backed up and I'm in a position to be able to heal my team in a straight line because that's what Sue Storm is really good at. And then I noticed that we're getting attacked by Squirrel Girl behind us, so I ping that and I start to move toward it because we still have a cloak and dagger there to be able to keep the team up even if I'm not around. Again, try to get different flanks, different positions on the enemy. Penny Parker's going to the left, so I'm just going to jump over this wall. Sadly, I missed my pullback and Penny doesn't continue to follow, so we don't end up getting the kill, but it's fine. We pushed her back. Now I can go back to my team. And then once again, in the next round, we're healing until we decide that we have an opportunity to create pressure because our team doesn't need heals anymore. I see Adam Warlock rezzing two of his teammates, Groot and Punisher, and I don't want him to be able to heal them, so I'm just going to immediately run to that. I feel like I can create pressure and maybe even get a few kills. And I do, but I'm out of position here, so I'm just going to immediately go back to my team and make sure that they're getting heals if they need it, and if not, I'm just going to not be in the front line as a support when I'm not invisible. Once again, I have my invis, so I can go up to the front and be a little bit more aggressive. Nothing was really happening. I see Penny Park coming in, so I try to keep her away. And then I'm just healing, and I hear Punisher walking up to my right, so I decide to keep him away as well. He's now out of position for the fight, and I see that my teammates are dying, so I just very quickly throw out my ult and jump again to the front line and try to do as much damage as I can, and it ends up turning into like 3 or 4 kills. Just because you're a tank, just because you're playing as a healer, doesn't mean that you're always doing those things. Find times to be able to deal damage or whatever else you need. And the very last tip for the video, know your main characters, know how to play them well. For example, me and the DPS stayed up way too long here, and it almost put us into a bad situation where we were going to lose the point. But Sue Storm has an E that pushes people away. It's just Groot and somebody riding on his shoulder. All I have to do is push him away and we win. Anytime it's very late game and you're playing on objectives as Sue Storm, keep that in mind because it's won me so many more games. He started to back up, which made it even easier because they had already lost some time, and so I'm just going to push them away even further into the hallway, and they have no way to continue playing the game then. Alright, and so far through bronze and silver, those are the 5 tips that I think that I would give to anyone who's trying to improve at Marvel Rivals, specifically in rank. As a quick recap, those are focus on yourself, know where your healers are, group up, but do not stack. Damage is important for everyone, and really know how to play your mains. Once again, I truly hope that this does help. I've only been playing the game for a couple weeks, but I've been trying to focus really hard on things that I'm doing wrong, things that other players are doing well, and just trying to compile those and just truly understand how to play the game better and help people out along the way. If you think this helped, please just give the video a comment, like, or subscribe to the channel. Anything and everything helps, and I really do appreciate each and every one of you who do it. Hope you have a great day, and I hope to see you next time. Peace.